Hey guys, welcome to Solo ReacTalk. Today I'm going to be reacting to a linfamy history of Japan video. If you want to check out my previous ones, I'm going to put the card right up top here. So let's start. Let me just put this here. All right. How the Japanese dealt with China in the Yayoi period. Okay. Let me just put this properly. All right. Three, two, one, go.
The early Yayoi was a time of war, of clan chieftains fighting for the best lands. And so you may think this video would be about exciting battles and strategies and such. Well, it's not. Welcome to the frustration of studying this period in Japanese history. The Yayoi had no written language. It was a time when alliances were formed and broken, a time of heroes and intrigue and betrayals, but we have no written records of any of it. The only records we have are from the Chinese sources that bothered to write down things about these barbarians to the east. They mentioned wars, but didn't much care for details. Now, to understand the Yayoi period, we can't just talk about the Yayoi people by themselves. The picture would be incomplete. We need to talk about the elephant in the room. An elephant named China. Psst, don't miss out. Click subscribe and the bell. China was the high school cheerleader of ancient Asia. I'll explain. First, I need to impress upon you China's overwhelming presence. When the Yayoi period began in 300 BC, various Chinese dynasties have been around for nearly 2,000 years, supposedly, and it was during this period that the Chinese Han dynasty began, considered a golden age of China. Most modern Chinese still call themselves Han. While the Chinese were inventing things like paper and the Pythagorean theorem, the Yayoi were just getting into agriculture. Imagine you're the ancient Greeks, and next door is the modern United States of America. The feeling of inadequacy the Yayoi would have felt is like when you bring a baking soda volcano to the science fair, then you see Kevin waltz in with a toaster that runs on farts and happiness. What the hell, Kevin? How am I supposed to compete with that? Well, look who's got the last laugh now. You're working on cancer research, and I'm on YouTube. The Han had plenty of contact with the Yayoi, and they wrote them down. You know the phrase, history is written by the victors? In this case, history is written by the Chinese. And we need to keep this in mind. A lot of what we know of the Yayoi, outside of the archaeological evidence, is viewed through the eyes of the Chinese. We have records of various Yayoi kingdoms sending expeditions to China to establish relationships and trade with the Chinese court. Trade was done in a unique way. You see, the Chinese believed that their emperor carried the mandates of heaven, which declares that the emperor had ultimate authority over earth. Any non-Chinese state could never be considered equal. If a country sought a relationship with China, it did so as an inferior tributary state and had to pay homage to the emperor. The Chinese court did not trade normally with other countries, because that would imply a fair exchange between equals, and China was not equal to you, damn it. Therefore, they used what is called a shady massage parlor system, or SMP. I will explain. John goes to a shady massage parlor and gets the regular massage for $20. Then he tips the masseuse $100, and he gets the irregular massage. Technically, John did not pay for the extra services. He gave a voluntary gift of $100, and the masseuse gave him a token of appreciation in return. And that's how it works at a shady massage parlor. I know this through a friend, of course. A friend named Destiny. No. So trade was done like this. A Yayoi kingdom would offer items as tribute to the Chinese court, and the court, in its generosity, would bestow gifts and legitimacy to the Yayoi kingdom and its leader. This way, it's technically not a trade between equals. One side freely offers a tribute, the other freely offers a gift. SMP. Alright, fine, it's actually called the tributary system. The Yayoi were pretty much fine with this arrangement. Gifts made them especially happy. This tribute system often expanded to large trade networks. There is evidence of a vast trade network all over Japan, including the Ryukyu Islands. In the 1st century AD, there were reports of many tribal leaders in Kyushu sending tribute missions to a Chinese outpost in the Korean peninsula. Foreign goods entered Japan by way of Kyushu, then flowed from Kyushu to the rest of Japan. In one recorded case of contact, the Han court bestowed upon the ruler of the kingdom of Na a gold seal. No, seal. The inscription on it reads roughly, King of the Na state of Wa, vassal of the Han. This seal still exists now in a museum and is designated a national treasure of Japan. Now, were the Yayoi just vain and wanted to show off bling from China? Ooh, look at my cool bell. Oh no, it was mainly about one thing: power. In high school, recognition from a cheerleader or a jock gave you status and power. In the same way, recognition by the Chinese court granted you legitimacy and status in the eyes of your people and the other Yayoi kingdoms. China was the high school cheerleader of ancient Asia. Rulers distributed these Chinese gifts to supporters. They were symbols of power and authority. This is not to say that China controlled the Yayoi, not at all. The Yayoi were very much autonomous. There were long periods where they did not have any contact with China. But there was a long list of Yayoi leaders sending missions to China to gain power. Because of these leaders, power tended to flow from the mainland to the Yayoi kingdoms with the closest relations to China. Power consolidated there until a kingdom called Yamatai emerged to rule over Japan, kinda.
Okay, that was it for how Japan dealt with China during the Yayoi period. Um, Empires that grow large and with vast amounts of resources and knowledge and technology, they always become arrogant. They always see themselves superior to their neighbors in no matter what: military, economics, language, traditions, culture, everything. And this type of attitude didn't only occur in China, but it occurred in many other, empires across time. Across time, there's always been an empire that's always seen themselves as being superior to anybody else. And this tributary trade system they used was very interesting in terms of them giving each other gifts and stating it as a gift instead of it being a resource or a product that's been traded and given money in return for those resources and for those products. And it's so funny. Like, why don't you just call it what it is instead of coming here and making up excuses? But, anyways, that's what people did, and that's how people found a loophole in finding ways to trade with one another. And yeah, China was the cheerleader of the time during that time of the Han Dynasty and many other dynasties that occurred in China. It had many vassal states around that particular area of Asia. I don't know if Japan was ever a vassal or one of the Yayoi tribes or little kingdoms that were in Japan during that time were ever a vassal of China. But I know in the Korean peninsula there were some vassal states. Um, Even further west, there were some vassal states. I just can't remember them all right now, but China was the big guy as it is now, but in the past it was that empire. Everybody looked up to them. Maybe not in a good light, but as an example of how empires or kingdoms should be built. You know, some countries took up their writing system, some countries took up their traditions and their culture and their New Year's celebrations, following the Chinese calendar. So yeah, China during that time was um, the it thing, if I can say that. Um, and they were very arrogant because of it as well. But you know, all empires are like that. When they've reached the pinnacle, they see anyone that's not within their empire as barbarians or as primitive people that should not be associated with. So, you know, it's to be expected from any empire. And yeah, I guess that's it. Hopefully, in the next episode, we're going to be learning about the kingdom of Yamatai and their queen. What was her name again? Himiko? Is it Himiko? Let me check. Yes, Himiko. Queen Himiko. So hopefully we're gonna learn about that in the next episode. Okay, guys, that's it for today. Remember to give me a like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and also click on the notification bell if you want to be notified with my latest videos. All right. Bye bye.